We're Patrick and Michaela. We've been married for 10 years, spent some time backpacking, living in a van, and late 2023 we purchased a Liveaboard catamaran with the dreams of circumnavigating and having a family on the water. We are taking you all along with us this week for what it's like to live on our 1980s off-grid sailboat, including some repairs and adventures. We are currently anchored in the north end of Little Harbor in the Abacos, and we have a few things to prep before we take off for Eleuthera with our friends Hunter and Bridget that we've been buddy boating with.
Today we are starting off with a sail repair. This one has been a long time coming. Our leech line has been coming out of our Genoa for far too long, and with a recent gusty sail, it ripped almost from end to end. We are taking the headsail down and repairing it today. Hunter said that we can take the sail down while it's very windy. I'm a little skeptical, but
I think
in Hunter we trust.
It'll drop.
It will certainly drop. I'm just wondering if we're going to maybe chase it through the ocean. This seems suspect at best. In theory, our sail should drop very easily. It is supposed to be able to drop in high wind conditions. However, not everything works smoothly on our old boat. Honestly, not everything works smoothly on brand new boats either, and the first few years on any boat is always going to be a little shaky.
Bridget on the camera!
I don't think trying to drop our headsail for the first time in 20 plus knots of wind was the brightest idea, and I also can't say that a drink or two wasn't involved in this decision-making process, which maybe provided a little bit too much confidence. The sail rolled out normally and started coming down, but quickly got stuck. There was so much thought that went into this decision that we didn't even get everything untied before trying to pull the sail down.
It's a pretty tight knot. I loosened it for you, don't worry. You can also try to roll it back up and then do this when it's not under crazy tension.
I don't think it's the tension, it's just the knot. Of course, this was happening at sunset. It seems like that's always when we get ourselves into trouble. Do you see how it's wrapped around one time?
I think they're just trying to unwrap it because it's like rolled a couple times at the top.
We ended up hoisting Hunter up the mast to untangle the halyard, which wrapped around the furler.
Oh! Do you want me to tighten it down here?
Yeah.
Is that tight?
Tight as you can.
Alright, he's good. You can set him down.
We unroll it, keep tension. As soon as it's out, undo it, and it should come out.
Okay.
If not, I can go back up.
How are you feeling?
I'm tired!
I feel wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Oh, I missed it. You just tripped. The halyard is tight right now, FYI. Tight and locked. Let me unlock it. It looks wrapped. Michaela says it looks like it got wrapped before we unlocked it.
Wait. Before locking it.
And then we were finally able to get the sail down and fold it up. If you haven't worked with a sail in person, they are super heavy to move around, which makes sense because they have to deal with so much force from the wind. The next day, Hunter and I took on repairing the sail. Hey look, a nice not windy day when I said we should take the sail down instead of when it was very windy. But look, we're ahead of schedule now because the sail is down. We got Hunter.
Talia support crew.
Talia support crew. Maybe like the longest...
Longest running character.
Yeah, longest running character. It's like the most revisited guest on the pod.
So all the pieces look like they're still together. The leech line is not frayed at all. It still looks pretty good.
It looks almost new.
And then the cover for it, it looks like the threads just came undone. Yeah. And that's what caused it to rip out. The sail itself is in like 3 pieces. You have like the outer layer, the middle layer, which is kind of fraying a little bit, and then the other side of it, which is another protective layer. So we're probably just going to trim up the bits that are frayed, and then I would just sew it back together with the pieces that we have. Because it looks like all the pieces are in decent shape, it's just the thread that failed.
It's a little bit of a long sew, but we got it.
Oh yeah, for sure. The machine makes a world of difference.
Oh yeah.
Can't imagine doing this by hand. Be sitting here for a week. It looks like sewed together, they have it on the top.
Yeah, okay. That's all right. So we'll just want to kind of leave it right in there. Do you want me to do the little fold trick? That's what Lance taught me. You just fold the edge just a little bit in, and then you have like a thing to pull it off on.
Smart.
Lance is pretty wise, dog. Lance helped me with the last sail repair right before we crossed to the Bahamas after we tore our mainsail. That was my first time using our sewing machine, and he taught me a lot. Although the very first time we patched our mainsail was actually with Hunter at Dinner Key Marina, back when we first bought our boat. I'm sorry this is gonna take forever.
I think once we get it going.
Once we get the process. Here you can see we are adding basting tape to the inside to help hold it in place while we are making the repair and to give it some extra strength. I think the basting tape is supposed to make the threads 3 times stronger, but I don't know how accurate that is. Lance was a very big proponent of smoothing down the basting tape. We do it the Lance way. It said a micro adjustment is half a turn, a full adjustment is a full turn. I read the manual a little bit.
Yeah. Give it a couple on backstitch and then forward. The one day me and Bridget were talking, and it's like so much of like sailing and things going wrong, you just like have to like take a breather and go, am I gonna get hurt right now? And if the answer is no, you're like, we can take our time.
Yeah.
We can breathe for a second even. It may be loud, it may be scary, but like,
But it's really not like the end of the world.
yeah.
Finally, we'll sew everything back together. This is something that has been on my mind for a while, but we only recently picked up a sewing machine so that we could take on these repairs ourselves. We are still looking at getting a new mainsail, just not something we can do for the few weeks that we are in the Bahamas. Okay, we just finished. Just got to the end here. The leech line's all back in. Wasn't so bad.
No, not too bad at all.
Luckily, yeah, all that material was good to use. There's a couple other spots we need, I think like on the sun covers and such. Maybe like one spot down here that could use a little patch. We started working on the rest of the patches when the sewing machine suddenly stopped working as we blew a fuse. We will have to work on getting a spare fuse for the sewing machine, but for now we're just going to have to spin the wheel by hand. Well, we hit a thick part of the sail and we popped the fuse. We don't have a spare, unfortunately. So we're just gonna try to hand roll and sew this up. Luckily we just have a patch to do. This was a lot faster and more fun when the sewing machine had power. I like when the machine did it.
Way nicer. You said you liked on slow though, you know?
Not this slow. After the patches were done, it was finally time to get the sail back up.
Another really quick project that we wanted to fix was the button that controls the windlass for bringing up our anchor. The gray button to drop the anchor and let it out is still working, but we are no longer able to bring it up from the front deck because the red button has stopped working. Don't worry, this video is not all projects. We get into the fun side of boat life too.
We don't have any of this size of cable. It's kind of small. So there are like a couple of cracks in here. And I'm hoping that we can just kind of like super glue them closed a little bit. So we stop getting so much water leaking in. But not so much that the stuff can't flex, I guess.
This is kind of the funny part about living on an old boat, or boats in general. You get to have so many cool experiences on the water and with sea life, but you're also always fixing something and trying to source a new part for something. On the bright side, it does force you to learn a lot of new skills and definitely gets you out of your comfort zone.
Alright.
Take a little squeeze.
There's a point where I was just getting the anchor up all by myself. Just getting this going.
I'm hoping we can get this fixed. The last couple of times we've taken off, it's been super windy. So we've had to have me in the cockpit while Patrick was up here giving me directions to go forward, go port, go whatever. But like while I'm also doing that, I also have to flip the switch to bring the anchor up over and over. And it's very hectic. It doesn't sound that bad, but it's a lot when it's really windy.
Bye, Patrick. I love you. That's where you live now.
Kind of cozy.
You fit so nicely. You could sleep in there.
Can you hit the down? Okay. Now can you hit the up?
Oh no. We took it all apart and Patrick resoldered the wires together, and then we put it back in and connected the wires again. But it still wasn't working. We already checked the fuse and that is not the problem this time. For right now, we can still raise the anchor from the cockpit until we can get a replacement and fix the problem. Here I am just listening for Patrick to tell me when to bring up the anchor and when to stop. We are very excited to be heading from the Abacos Islands to Eleuthera. We will be going offshore for this passage instead of our recent hops where we've been bouncing around the Abacos inside the Bahamas bank. We took off at sunset because we honestly don't mind crossing at night and then getting there early the next day.
Actually, as we were raising the main, I just went and grabbed the top of it and it just tore right at the leech line again. Oh, in this case it's the mainsail. Headsail looks good though, so pretty stoked about that. It's the best it's looked in a long time. But yeah, I think it's just, I mean, we only have like 7 knots of wind, so this is going to be a motor sailing day anyway. But we will have to motor sail without our mainsail and take that down and just get that patched up too. Because there's always something breaking anytime you use the boat, and that's alright.
Like we've said, we know we need a new mainsail, but unfortunately that is not going to happen today. So we'll have to use our headsail for now and then patch it when we get to the next stop. In the meantime, we have been using our storm sail as kind of a tiny makeshift mainsail to give us a little bit more balance. We've been trying to fish more while we're offshore, but unfortunately haven't caught anything yet. To be honest, I'm not even sure if we'd know what to do if we did catch something, but I guess we'll figure that out when the time comes.
Yeah, no, it kind of just looks like seaweed. So it kind of just looks like seaweed.
How's the sail so far? It's been alright.
It's good. I was just kidding.
We did have, I heard like a noise inside as I was like walking back from the bathroom, and we had a life vest just inflate. So we'll have to go investigate that. I don't know what happened. It was just like an inflatable life vest just went off. Yeah, just kind of like a little bit of a rolly motor sail, but we're almost to the inlet. It was only like a 13-hour sail, so really not that bad compared to like most of the stuff we had to do to get over here.
Now we're getting into the other side of boat life. We landed in Eleuthera and decided to go diving to see if we could find any fish for dinner, but also just to have fun and explore the water. How this works is one person will be in the dinghy, keeping an eye on the other 3 in the water, and to let other boats know that there are divers in the water. We didn't end up catching anything for dinner this time around, but we did see some starfish, hermit crabs, stingrays, and sea turtles.
She's like walking around down there too. Not quite a developed lift yet. So not legal. And they don't taste that good. Agree. Oh, the big one. It's so colorful.
Thought I'd do a little life emotional update. We've been in the Bahamas for a little bit now. The last couple weeks have been so busy with, you know, having that really terrible sail and then fixing the mainsail and then getting back out there, and I just feel like I'm just starting to recuperate from that experience. So like I've just been tired and it's been hard to want to film and to want to talk to the camera, but I'm gonna try to get my energy back up for that because I really do enjoy making videos and sharing our lives with you. Wish we had a little bit more free time, but I'm also very grateful that we
work and that we have an income to continue boat life. So like, I'm not complaining about that at all. It's just also like trying to keep up with finding time to enjoy it and go explore is a little bit hard, but we're making it work. I'm exhausted but happy. It's just wonderful to finally be here and get to enjoy it. And I'm so glad that you have all stuck around with us through this and that you're here with us now, and hopefully we just continue happy days.
What?
I said holy.
We had a very bumpy dinghy ride over to Harbour Island, which was a really nice spot to explore. We got a little bit of fruit, walked around the island, and checked out the beach.
Bridget, Hunter, and I went to check out the glass window and the Queen's Bath. We ended up walking about 2.5 miles each way, so I'd probably recommend anchoring closer to make the walk shorter, but it's absolutely worth checking out. We are at the Motel Meow, trying to feed some cats.
It's the cat hotel, Catnip Cottage.
You gotta give them food, Bridget.
Yeah, I brought my donation.
What are we going to see? The glass window?
Yeah, some tide pool.
Okay, nice. I'd look at a tide pool. But on the way, there's kitten hotels. Oh, that one knows what's up. I think Bridget's trying to steal a cat.
I think they're free.
It's like the ducks in a park.
On one side and the bank on the other. It's like thousands of feet deep. 15 feet deep. Kind of wild. And Hunter climbed to the top of a rock.
Well, I thought I knew what life was all about. That song had already been sung.
We made it to the Queen's Baths. This is a tide pool in a cave. Maybe we can see the fish. Well, thanks for leading us here, Guide Hunter.
You're welcome. My pleasure to give you the local tour of Eleuthera Island.
Being able to share this time with friends has been such an incredible experience. Having a community really does make a difference. And both Michaela and I feel like whether you are with friends or not, this sailing community is so welcoming that making new friends is just around the corner. Look at how cute he is. That's insane. Whoa, dude, he almost just yeeted himself.
Yeah, you're a little too big for your shell.
We gotta find you a new one, my guy.
You guys see a big shell of this guy now.
There were so many little hermit crabs here, it really made my day, as I love sea life. We're on our walk back. Overall, good day, team. We saw so many hermit crabs.
A lot of sea urchins.
Also a lot of sea urchins, baby ones, which made it a little precarious to bathe. I don't know if it's worthy of a queen. You know, we just gotta walk back and hope that somebody will take us.
Patrick had his shoes off for a while. I think he was trying to get a ride. Look helpless.
The sandals are so terrible, they're killing my feet. But this road is a little precarious. Now we'll take the normalized jabbing of the plastic in my sandals instead of the random jabbing of the rocks on the road. The suffering that you know?
And the lesser evil.
Mm-hmm. But not a bad day.
We wanted to quickly chat with you guys about something. We've had some personal stuff come up, and unfortunately we'll have to cut back to uploading every other Sunday. We love making videos and sharing our lives with you all. We just need a little bit more time in between uploads for the time being. Thank you so much for understanding.
We also took the dinghy over to get some coconuts from this uninhabited little area, and Hunter and Bridget taught me which coconuts are good for water and which ones are good for meat. Well, we found a coconut haven, land with many coconuts, but also like the world's deepest grass. It's just gone.
Where'd it go? Crazy.
That's why Hunter has boots on, so then we can make him walk around on it.
I brought boots.
Yeah, well, not everybody has boots, Hunter. See, we could go get that board, but there's also 10 visible wasp nests. I don't know if that's the move.
Step 1, get rid of all the wasps.
Yeah, how do you think we should do that?
I think you should just knock them all down. I'll be over here.
Oh, my man is cooking on coconuts.
That's an impressive haul.
Hunter, he is our tour guide. If he doesn't do this, we won't give him a tip. Yeah! We've made our bridge. It would have been cooler if I caught it.
It would have been cooler. We can do a full retake.
Now I'm just missing because of my camera.
He got all of these though, so that's pretty good.
I did. It was one coconut blasted 10 of them down.
You got one!
Come on!
You look so smug.
What do you think about this one, Hunter?
Good. Yeah, that's a good one.
I got that one.
Yeah.
We blasted it right off the tree. Look at them. Still working on 2 coconuts when I've done 3 myself. Now we've had an assembly line going. These are apparently the meat coconuts, while the other ones are the water coconuts.
This is one of our first times buddy boating, and it has been so much fun to have friends around to hang out with all the time. We've shared many dinners and gone on a bunch of adventures, not to mention how nice it is to have another boat nearby in case something were to go wrong with either of our boats on a passage.
Break open your coconut. We brought the coconuts home, opened 2, got the meat out, and shredded it up with the cheese grater. We couldn't believe how much shredded coconut we got from just 2 tiny coconuts.
I hope this bread is good. 2 eggs is hot commodity.
We will definitely have to play around with this recipe because it came out kind of dry and everyone agreed it was much better with a little bit of butter.
Don't forget to subscribe. Next week, I will be losing my mind over how cute these little piglets are, and we finally catch something for dinner.
What do you mean you don't want this footage? This is good stuff.